unfortunately, there are certain other things in society that tend to kind of, raise up the ideal notions of things, and then that can lead to kids, feeling bad about things and thinking that they're, not having like this ideal experience. Other things I've thought about
That was very painful for us in the 50s.
For who?
Growing up, we watched these, what were called situation comedies.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody had a perfect family.
Oh, yeah, that's very odd.
And
to perpetuate.
Everybody was so deeply ashamed of talking about any kind of imperfection in their own family. It only came out came out decades later. Decades later. I remember, I'm going to just use X and Y. I won't name the people. The most distinguished physician in my neighborhood, he was very distinguished. When he passed away, there was a big obituary in the Times for him because he had made some very impressive medical technology. And his mother was also, she was a microbiologist at York College. And they walked down the street very erect, very proud. They had 4 children, brilliant. One Harvard, the second one MIT, though he was actually the more brilliant, a little bit lazy, but brilliant. And then 2 others, two daughters. And we all thought of them as the perfect family. They were so accomplished, very refined, cultured, and aloof. And then maybe after we passed through high school and college, I meet the fellow 10, 15 years later, and I ask him, so how's your family? He said, oh, my parents, my parents got divorced. I said, really? Your parents got divorced? He said, yeah. I said, why? I said, why? He said, my father used to beat the shit out of my mother every night. I said, really? He said, yeah. She always used to wear makeup to cover up her black eyes. I said, why was he doing that? And he said, well, what do you think? He was effing every woman on the block. I was just astonished. And then everyone you start to talk to 20 years later, it was like a soap opera going on in every house. But we didn't see it. We didn't see it. We did not see it. One of my 2 closest friends, I never noticed. I used to visit her house all the time. I never noticed she didn't have a mother. I swear. No. Because you just assumed they had a mother. In my science class, the girl in front of me, she had a prosthetic arm. I swear to God. I never noticed it. I saw a regular arm because we were so sure everybody else was perfect. We just didn't see what was going on. I remember the stories, a young woman who I was very close to romantically, I visited her house, I met her parents, introduced to her brother, walked out. I was with my friend Richard Horn. He said, her brother's mentally retarded. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He was. I didn't see it. It was not possible. She's extremely smart. Very, very smart. She's Israeli, by the way, now. 30 years already. You couldn't see. How could somebody we know, mentally retarded was something? It happened on Mars. It didn't happen here. So that's how we grew up. We didn't know what was going on around us. We just assumed everything was perfect. No, that was true. And I'm pretty observant. I am. Actually, I'm very observant. But you didn't see those things growing up. Obviously, it totally changed in your generation, the younger people, where...
You didn't talk about it, that's why you didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
No.
Absolutely never
Like
talked
this
about it.
cultural
If somebody had a retarded child, as we called it back then, nobody ever talked about it. Absolutely not.
You were
It was
supposed to hide it.
hide it, and it was huge shame. Huge, huge shame.